Have you ever wondered what it really takes to become a billionaire? Not a millionaire, not just financially comfortable, but part of that ultra-rare club of people worth 10 digits or more. Today, we're diving into the psychology, the strategies, and the exact steps that separate billionaires from everyone else. And spoiler alert, it's not just luck. By the end of this video, you'll have a roadmap that billionaires use, whether you want to reach that level yourself or just understand how the richest people on earth built their fortunes. Let's start with the foundation, the billionaire mindset. 1. The billionaire mindset. Most people think becoming a billionaire is all about money. But the truth, it's about mindset long before it's about bank accounts. If you talk to people like Warren Buffett, Elon Musk, or Oprah Winfrey, you'll notice something: they all see the world differently. Instead of asking, how do I make money? They ask, how do I create value at scale? This is the first big distinction. A billionaire mindset doesn't chase money, it chases impact. Because money is just the reward for solving big problems for a lot of people. 1A. Long-term thinking. Most people want quick wins, a paycheck this week, a bonus this month, or a nice vacation this year. Billionaires play a completely different game. Jeff Bezos once said, "We are willing to be misunderstood for long periods of time." When Amazon started, it lost money for years. Wall Street thought it was a failure. But Bezos was thinking in decades, not months. If you want billionaire results, you have to stretch your time horizon. Ask yourself, what project would I work on for the next 10 years, even if I didn't get paid immediately? That's how billionaires think. Resilience and risk appetite. Billionaires aren't fearless, they just have a different relationship with risk and failure. Elon Musk has openly admitted that when he put all his PayPal money into SpaceX and Tesla, he thought both companies might fail. But he did it anyway because the upside was massive. Most people avoid risk because they fear losing what little they have. Billionaires embrace risk because they know the biggest rewards come from taking bold bets. Leverage and multiplication. Here's another key mindset shift. Billionaires don't think in terms of addition, they think in terms of multiplication. If you work a job, you can only scale your income so much. But if you build a system, create software, or launch a brand, you can reach millions of people at once. Think about Bill Gates with Microsoft. He didn't sell his time, he sold software that could be copied infinitely. That's leverage. So step 1 in becoming a billionaire: train yourself to think bigger, longer, and in terms of impact and scale. 2. The psychology of billionaires. Now let's dive deeper into the psychology. Because it's not just strategy, it's also how billionaires train their minds. Obsession with learning. If you study billionaires, you'll notice they're relentless learners. Warren Buffett reads about 500 pages a day. Elon Musk taught himself rocket science by reading textbooks. Oprah spent her early years consuming knowledge about media and human behavior. The takeaway here: billionaires are not just hard workers, they're obsessive learners. They treat learning as an investment. Unshakable confidence. Confidence is a billionaire superpower. And it's not arrogance, it's belief. Belief that you can build something even if the world thinks you're crazy. Think about Steve Jobs. People laughed at the idea of a computer in every home. Now, we carry more computing power in our pockets than NASA used to land on the moon. Confidence allows billionaires to bend reality. They don't just accept the world as it is, they shape it into what they want it to be. Adaptability. Finally, billionaires are adaptable. Markets change, technology evolves, competitors rise. The ones who stay on top are the ones who adapt. Look at Netflix. It started by mailing DVDs, then pivoted into streaming, and later became a content producer. That's adaptability at billionaire scale. 3. The foundations of wealth creation. Okay, so mindset is the foundation, but what about actual wealth building? Let's break it down into the principles every billionaire follows, whether consciously or not. 1A. Value creation. Money flows to value. The more value you create for others, the more money you earn. But billionaires don't just create value for a few, they create it for millions. Think of Mark Zuckerberg. Facebook wasn't just a tool for him and his friends, it became a platform for billions. Ask yourself, what problem can I solve that affects millions of people? That's where billion-dollar opportunities live. Scalability. If your business requires your personal time for every transaction, it's not scalable. Billionaires focus on things that scale: software, platforms, franchises, intellectual property. Scalability is about building systems that make money while you sleep. Example: Spotify doesn't sell one song at a time, it streams billions of tracks simultaneously to users around the world. Innovation and timing. You don't become a billionaire by doing what everyone else is already doing. You need either innovation or perfect timing. Uber wasn't the first taxi company, but it innovated by putting taxis on an app at the perfect time when smartphones were exploding. Innovation plus timing equals exponential opportunity. 4. Breaking the middle class mindset. Now, here's the uncomfortable truth. The habits that make you financially stable are often the same habits that prevent you from becoming a billionaire. The middle class saves money. Billionaires invest money. The middle class avoids risk. Billionaires manage and embrace risk. The middle class looks for job security. Billionaires create opportunities. If you want to think like a billionaire, you have to break free from traditional financial advice. Saving 10% of your paycheck won't get you there. You need bold, scalable moves. Does this mean billionaires are reckless? No, they take calculated risks. They protect the downside but aim for massive upside. 5. Early moves that lead to billionaire success. When you study billionaires, you see patterns in their early moves. 1. They start young. Many billionaires started building early. Zuckerberg launched Facebook in college. Gates dropped out of Harvard to start Microsoft. Even if you're not young, the key is starting early in your industry to compound experience. 2. They focus narrowly before expanding. Amazon started with just books. Facebook started with just Harvard students. By focusing, they gain traction before scaling. 3. They reinvest, not spend. Instead of cashing out early, billionaires reinvest profits into growth. That's why Amazon didn't show huge profits for years. It was all reinvested into infrastructure. 4. They embrace failure as tuition. Most people fear failure. Billionaires see it as learning. Richard Branson has launched dozens of failed businesses, but Virgin Group kept innovating until it found billion-dollar hits. So far, we've talked about the mindset, psychology, and foundations of wealth. But now let's get tactical. What specific paths actually lead to billionaire status? And which industries produce the most billionaires? If you've made it this far, you now understand the billionaire mindset and the foundation of wealth creation. But here's the big question: what are the actual paths to billionaire status? Which industries make the most billionaires, and how do they scale from 0 to 10 digits? That's exactly what we're diving into now. The main paths to becoming a billionaire. Not all billionaires are built the same. In fact, there are a few common paths they tend to follow. Let's break them down one by one. 1. Entrepreneurship. The most common path is entrepreneurship, starting and scaling a company. Roughly 2/3 of billionaires are self-made, and most did it by creating a business that solved a massive problem. Tech entrepreneurs, think Elon Musk, Mark Zuckerberg, Bill Gates. They built technology companies that scaled globally. Retail and consumer entrepreneurs, Jeff Bezos with Amazon, Sam Walton with Walmart. They built empires by serving everyday consumers at scale. Luxury entrepreneurs, Bernard Arnault turned LVMH into the biggest luxury conglomerate in the world. Entrepreneurship is the most accessible billionaire path because you don't need to start with money. You need an idea, execution, and relentless persistence. 2. Inheritance plus growth. Some billionaires are born into wealth. But don't be fooled, many of them grow that wealth further. The Walton family, heirs of Walmart, expanded their fortune by reinvesting and managing assets wisely. This path is less about creating wealth from scratch and more about scaling existing wealth responsibly. 3. Investments and finance. The next big path is through investments. Hedge fund managers, venture capitalists, and private equity investors often reach billionaire status by managing and multiplying capital. Warren Buffett invested wisely in undervalued companies for decades. Ray Dalio built Bridgewater Associates, one of the world's largest hedge funds. This path requires a deep understanding of markets, but it proves you don't always need to start a business. You can grow one through capital allocation. 4. Real estate. Real estate has minted countless billionaires. Why? Because property is one of the most scalable, leverageable assets. Developers like Donald Bren and Harry Triguboff built empires by developing, buying, and flipping real estate at scale. The principle here is simple: buy assets, improve them, leverage debt, and compound growth. 5. Entertainment and media. A smaller but fascinating group of billionaires comes from entertainment. Oprah Winfrey, Jay-Z, Rihanna, and George Lucas all used media, music, and film to build empires. But here's the catch: they didn't just rely on talent. They built businesses around their brand. Rihanna, for example, became a billionaire not from music alone, but from Fenty Beauty, which leveraged her brand into a global company. 6. Resource extraction and energy. Oil, gas, mining, these industries have historically created many billionaires. For example, Mukesh Ambani of Reliance Industries built his fortune in petrochemicals and later expanded into telecom. While this path is harder to enter today due to high barriers, it's still relevant in emerging markets. 7. Government-linked opportunities. In some countries, billionaires emerge through government contracts, monopolies, or political connections. This is more common in developing economies where state influence is heavy. It's a reminder that environment and connections can sometimes play a bigger role than pure innovation. So, we know the paths. But not all paths are equal. Some industries consistently create more billionaires than others. Let's break down the billionaire hotspots. 7. Industries that produce the most billionaires. According to global billionaire lists, certain industries dominate. If your goal is billionaire status, these are the arenas with the biggest potential. 1. Technology. No surprise here, tech is the #1 billionaire-making machine of the 21st century. Why? Because it's infinitely scalable. A piece of software costs millions to build but can serve billions of users with almost no extra cost. Think Microsoft, Google, Meta, Tesla. These companies don't just grow linearly, they grow exponentially. Takeaway: if you're aiming for billions, tech is the most accessible and scalable industry. 2. Finance and investments. From hedge funds to private equity to venture capital, finance remains a powerhouse for wealth creation. Why? Because money itself compounds. If you're skilled at multiplying capital, you can scale into billions relatively quickly. Example: Ken Griffin of Citadel, who built one of the largest hedge funds in the world. 3. Real estate. Buildings, land, and developments remain tried and true billionaire makers. The appeal is simple: you can leverage debt to acquire huge assets, and property generally appreciates over time. Example: Stephen Ross, developer of Hudson Yards in New York. 4. Healthcare and biotech. Especially after COVID-19, healthcare and biotech have surged as billionaire-making industries. Companies like Moderna, Pfizer, and biotech innovators created massive fortunes by solving health crises. 5. Energy. Although renewable energy is disrupting the sector, traditional oil and gas still produce billionaires. Meanwhile, the new generation of energy billionaires will come from green tech, solar, wind, and EV infrastructure. Example: Elon Musk with Tesla's EV and renewable focus. 6. Luxury goods and fashion. This one surprises people, but luxury is huge. LVMH, Gucci, Chanel, all mint billionaires by selling exclusivity and brand prestige. Example: Bernard Arnault, the world's richest man at times, built his fortune by acquiring luxury brands and scaling them globally. 7. Media and entertainment. From Disney to Netflix to individual creators, media has the power to turn influence into billions. This space is growing even more with digital creators launching businesses. Example: Oprah, Tyler Perry, and newer creators turn business moguls. Now that we know where billionaires are being made, let's dig into how they scale their wealth once they're on their way. This is where the strategies get really interesting. 8. Strategies for scaling wealth to the billionaire level. Having the right idea or industry isn't enough. To become a billionaire, you need strategies that amplify your wealth exponentially. 1. Equity ownership. The biggest difference between rich people and billionaires is ownership. Billionaires don't rely on salaries, they own equity in companies. That equity scales as the company grows. Jeff Bezos didn't become the richest man by taking a paycheck from Amazon, he owned shares. Same with Elon Musk at Tesla. Lesson: if you want billionaire wealth, prioritize ownership over income. 2. Global expansion. Millionaires build businesses. Billionaires build empires that cross borders. Amazon isn't just an American company, it's global. McDonald's, Apple, and Nike all scale by expanding internationally. If you're solving a problem, ask yourself, can this work globally? That's where exponential growth lies. 3. Building systems, not jobs. Billionaires don't just build products, they build systems. Systems that run without them. Warren Buffett doesn't run Coca-Cola, American Express, or Apple, but he owns pieces of them. The lesson is leverage. Build or buy systems that generate wealth without requiring your direct involvement. 4. Leveraging debt and other people's money. This is counterintuitive for most people, but billionaires know how to use debt wisely. They don't borrow to consume, they borrow to scale. Real estate billionaires are the best example. They borrow to acquire assets, improve them, refinance, and repeat at scale. 5. Mergers and acquisitions. Another billionaire strategy is growth through acquisition. Instead of just building one company, billionaires often buy others. Bernard Arnault didn't invent Louis Vuitton, Dior, or Moet & Chandon. He bought them and rolled them into a luxury empire. 6. Brand power. A billionaire knows the value of brand. Apple isn't just a tech company, it's a brand worth hundreds of billions. Kylie Jenner became a billionaire, though briefly disputed, largely through brand equity. If you can build a strong brand, you multiply your pricing power and consumer loyalty. 7. Strategic philanthropy and reputation. Finally, billionaires understand that reputation is a form of capital. Philanthropy isn't just giving back, it's also influence, networking, and tax strategy. Bill Gates didn't just donate billions, he built the Gates Foundation into one of the most powerful global organizations. So now we've mapped the paths, the industries, and the strategies that create billionaires. But there's another layer most people overlook: relationships, influence, and networks. Because here's the truth: no billionaire builds alone. In Part 3, we'll dive into the power of connections, real billionaire case studies, and an actionable roadmap you can follow if you want to pursue this path yourself. We've covered mindset, we've covered industries, we've covered strategies. But here's the missing piece: no billionaire does it alone. Behind every fortune is a network of mentors, investors, partners, and allies. And beyond that, there are mistakes, controversies, and lessons you need to know before you even think about chasing the billionaire dream. Let's dive into the final piece of the puzzle. 9. The power of networking and influence. You've probably heard the phrase, "Your network is your net worth." For billionaires, this isn't a cliche, it's reality. Mentorship and guidance. Behind every billionaire, there's usually a mentor or early influence. Warren Buffett had Benjamin Graham, who taught him the principles of value investing. Bill Gates had Paul Allen as his co-founder and intellectual partner. Oprah Winfrey had mentors who guided her as she navigated media. A mentor doesn't just give advice, they open doors, provide connections, and accelerate learning. Partnerships and co-founders. Many billion-dollar companies were not built alone. Google, Larry Page and Sergey Brin. Microsoft, Bill Gates and Paul Allen. Facebook, Zuckerberg had Dustin Moskovitz, Eduardo Saverin, and Sean Parker in the early stages. A strong co-founder or partner complements your weaknesses. While one person may be visionary, the other may excel in operations. Networking for capital. No matter how great your idea is, at some point you'll need capital. Venture capitalists, angel investors, and private equity firms fuel billionaire businesses. Elon Musk didn't build Tesla alone. Early funding came from investors who believed in the vision. Jeff Bezos raised money from friends and family before Amazon took off. Billionaires are masters at pitching their vision to the right people at the right time. Political influence. Another truth: billionaires often wield political influence. Whether through lobbying, donations, or philanthropy, they shape policies that affect their industries. This isn't necessarily sinister, it's strategic. If your business operates at a billion-dollar scale, laws and regulations matter. So billionaires build relationships not just with CEOs, but with policymakers. Philanthropy is networking. Philanthropy isn't only about giving back, it's about influence. The Gates Foundation partners with governments, NGOs, and corporations worldwide. This extends Bill Gates' influence far beyond business. So we've covered the importance of networking. But let's make it more concrete. What do real billionaire journeys actually look like? Let's break down a few case studies. Elon Musk, the visionary risk-taker. Elon Musk is perhaps the most extreme example of a modern billionaire. After selling PayPal, he invested nearly all his money into Tesla and SpaceX. For years, both companies were close to bankruptcy. Most people would have cashed out and lived comfortably. Musk doubled down. Today, Tesla is worth hundreds of billions, and SpaceX is redefining space travel. Lesson: big risks, when combined with big vision, can create massive rewards. Warren Buffett, the patient investor. Warren Buffett didn't invent anything flashy. He didn't start a tech company. He simply mastered the art of investing. By buying undervalued companies and holding them for decades, Buffett grew Berkshire Hathaway into one of the largest conglomerates in the world. Buffett proves you don't need to be a tech genius or an inventor to be a billionaire. You just need discipline, patience, and an eye for value. Lesson: long-term thinking and compound growth can quietly build a fortune bigger than most tech empires. Jeff Bezos, the relentless scaler. Amazon started with books. That's it. Bezos chose a narrow niche, dominated it, and then expanded. He reinvested every dollar into infrastructure, technology, and global logistics. While most companies chase short-term profits, Bezos thought in decades. Now, Amazon isn't just an e-commerce site, it's a cloud computing giant, a logistics powerhouse, and a media player. Lesson: start small, scale relentlessly, and reinvest aggressively. Oprah Winfrey, the personal brand billionaire. Oprah started as a talk show host, but she didn't stop there. She built a media empire, invested in businesses, and leveraged her personal brand into billion-dollar ventures. Unlike many billionaires, Oprah came from extreme poverty. Her story proves that brand, influence, and ownership can transform even the toughest beginnings into billionaire success. Lesson: your personal brand can be just as powerful as a product. Bernard Arnault, the luxury empire builder. Arnault didn't invent Louis Vuitton or Dior. He bought them. Through strategic acquisitions, he built LVMH, the largest luxury group in the world. His genius wasn't invention, it was consolidation. He saw that luxury thrives on heritage and exclusivity, so he acquired as many iconic brands as possible and scaled them globally. Lesson: you don't always need to create something new, you can acquire and expand. Now, it's tempting to think billionaire life is all upside. But the truth is, extreme wealth comes with extreme challenges. Let's talk about the pitfalls. 11. Pitfalls and ethical dilemmas of billionaire wealth. Work-life balance. Building a billion-dollar empire often comes at a personal cost. Elon Musk has admitted to sleeping on factory floors. Many billionaires sacrificed family time, health, and balance to achieve the goals. Ask yourself, am I willing to pay that price? Public scrutiny. The higher you rise, the more people watch your every move. Billionaires face lawsuits, criticism, and political pushback. Jeff Bezos has been criticized for Amazon's labor practices. Mark Zuckerberg faces constant regulatory battles. Extreme wealth attracts extreme attention. Ethical dilemmas. Many billionaires struggle with the ethics of their wealth. Is it fair for one person to hold so much while others struggle? How should they give back? These are questions billionaires face daily. Wealth traps. Another pitfall is complacency. Some billionaires lose their edge once they make it. The ones who stay on top, like Buffett or Musk, continue to evolve, learn, and take risks. Okay, so now you've seen the mindset, the industries, the strategies, the case studies, and even the pitfalls. But let's put it all together. What is the step-by-step roadmap for someone who actually wants to pursue billionaire status? The Billionaire Roadmap, step by step. This is the actionable part. While luck and timing play roles, there are repeatable steps that set billionaires apart. Step 1. Develop the billionaire mindset. Think long-term, not short-term. Focus on impact, not just money. Get comfortable with failure and risk. 2. Identify a scalable problem. Ask, what problem affects millions of people? That's where billion-dollar opportunities live. Step 3. Build boldly, start narrow. Start with one niche. Dominate it. Use it as a launch pad for bigger expansion. 4. Reinvest relentlessly. Don't cash out early. Reinvest profits into scaling, infrastructure, and innovation. Step 5. Build a network. Find mentors, co-founders, investors, and political allies. Billion-dollar businesses require billion-dollar ecosystems. Step 6. Leverage systems and ownership. Own equity. Build systems that run without you. Scale through technology, franchises, or acquisition. 7. Expand globally. Think beyond your country. Billionaires build global empires, not local businesses. Step 8. Diversify investments. Once you're successful, protect your wealth. Invest in stocks, real estate, or other businesses. Don't rely on a single stream. Step 9. Manage reputation and influence. Use philanthropy, media, and partnerships to shape your image. Reputation is a form of capital. 10. Stay hungry. The journey doesn't end when you hit $1 billion. The billionaires who stay relevant are those who keep learning, innovating, and evolving. If you found this breakdown valuable, hit that like button, subscribe for more deep dives, and drop a comment telling me which billionaire inspires you the most. Until next time, think big, play long term, and remember, impact first, money second.